The second phase of our precision hunting rifle build and accurizing process involves double sleeving of the bolt. This process will take the material that we've removed with our reamer mandrel previously, creating a true surface internally, and replacing that with custom sleeves that I've machined out of 416 stainless steel stress-proof material. The bolt will be centered in the lathe off the firing pin hole and the center axis of the bolt body. I will cut down the diameters to be able to install my sleeves. We will permanently bond the sleeves to the bolt body and then machine the diameter just undersize of the internal diameter of the receiver. So okay, we're going to go ahead and take some measurements off the bolt itself before the machining processes, and to show you some of that inherent slop that I referred to earlier about the mass-produced factory bolt action receiver and bolt. So up front here, right behind the lugs, we got about 694.5 thousandths, and in the back, let's see what we got here, 695.5. So that kind of just shows you there's no real true diameter established here. It's just a cylinder that they've produced. And our receiver itself, just to show you that mandrel fits in there perfectly. This mandrel is slightly under 705 size. So our internal surfaces of the receiver are 705 thousandths, give or take a few tenths. What we're going to do, just to kind of explain, we're going to machine those sleeves just under that size. So say we're at 704/60 here. I'm going to make these sleeves probably 703.5. So we're going to have about a thousandths clearance inside the receiver. We've got the bolt body centered up in the lathe now. In the front here we've got basically an adapter to fit inside the existing firing pin hole. And this is going to prevent me from wallowing out the hole or damaging it in any way with the live center. And then in the back we've centered it off the bolt body in the 4-jaw chuck. So we're spinning as true as we can get it as it sits now. So we're about ready to take some cuts and get the diameters cut for the sleeves. Now that I've completed the machining operation on the lathe here, just thought I'd point out a few key things. So we've cut the diameter down to diameter and length on the back and the front. And just to kind of, maybe this will be a little more clear to you. Now I can take my sleeves, and they are ready to be permanently bonded to this bolt body. Touching, we're touching, there's enough for the bonding agent to go in there and do its job, and there's just a tiny bit of slop that way, but that'll all be taken care of and machined away. So basically once these are permanently bonded, same operation, I'm not taking this out. We're going to go ahead and turn this down, the new sleeves, down to the diameter we were talking about earlier. And then if you notice, my tool has a 35-degree bevel on this to match the bevel here. What I've done on the sleeves themselves is there is a matching bevel here, so that when they are attached, it just provides for a little cleaner installation, a little more professional look. So these will be machined down and there'll be virtually no seam here either. So again, sleeves are touching each other and just enough play in there for the bonding agent to go. And so again, we'll just be machining that down to our ideal diameter to match the receiver. All right, now that we've got the sleeves permanently attached to the bolt body, I'm going to come in here with my carbide cutter, and at high speed I'm going to turn down the diameter so we have a nice fit inside the receiver. I've got the rear sleeve down to the diameter that I'm happy with. Now we're going to come up to the front side, turn down the front sleeve. Once this is close, I'm actually going to put on my steady rest onto the sleeve itself so that we have a true diameter that was turned concentrically with the bolt. I'm going to place my center rest on that and then come in and do the actual accurizing cuts to the bolt, which consists of the back of the lugs here, the front of the lugs, the front of the bolt nose, and the bolt face itself. Some of these are just cosmetic cuts, and most of them are for accuracy, but the front of the lug and the nose is not so much really accuracy. We're just cleaning it up, making it look consistent with the rest of the bolt. Okay, great. Now that we've got the sleeves turned down, I went back in, like I mentioned earlier, and turned down the front sleeve to get rid of the steady rest marks and get it down to its final diameter, make it all pretty and nice. So at this point, we're ready to take the bolt out and see how she fits in the receiver. So we've got the double sleeves, obviously front and back. Those are turned down. Let's get a shot of the backs of the lugs. Those have been trued up. Really nice finish on those. We got the bolt nose itself, just basically, again, just truing it up, getting this 90 degrees square with the bolt body. The fronts of the lugs and the bolt nose diameter, outside diameter, that's, again, like I said, it's just cosmetic stuff. It's also just make sure that we're square with everything else. There's no reason to skip those parts. If you're gonna do it, you might as well do those surfaces as well. And I took about 2/1000ths off of all these features, so really nothing. It's just basically clean up, true it up, make sure everything's square. The rear sleeve measures 703/35, and the front measures 703/80. So we have plenty of clearance. We've taken up all the slop and the play, and we should be able to operate our bolt as normal. As mentioned earlier, the inside of the receiver has been bored out to a true diameter of 704.5, give or take a few tenths. And the bolt is slightly undersized in order to fit properly and operate as it should, while taking up all that slop we had before. So now we've got nothing in there except clearance just to operate normally. The backs of the lug should be perfectly contacting 100% with the abutments in the receiver, and our bolt is perfectly straight, 90 degrees with each surface inside the receiver and to itself. This is just another service that we provide here at Wyman Gun Company. Double sleeving the bolt, full accurized job, just incremental steps to an extremely accurate rifle.